Chag HaAtzmaut Sameach. I want to share with you a story from Sefer Bereshit, the story of a journey taken by Yitzchak Avinu, and the journey that Yitzchak Avinu took is very similar to the journey that we in our generation take through Yom HaAtzmaut and our opportunity to serve, to return back to Eretz Yisrael and to see the rebuilding of the state of Israel. Yitzchak Avinu in Parashat Toldot finds himself near Gerar, and he finds himself in an area where wells were dug at the time of his father Avraham Avinu, but those wells were filled in by the Pelishtim after Avraham Avinu died, and Yitzchak Avinu redigs the wells that his father dug. He redigs the first well, and there are arguments about it. He redigs a second well, again arguments, until he digs a third well. And in that third well, there are no arguments. He calls the third well Rechavot, and that well provides sustenance and water for Yitzchak and his family as they settle the land. But why are we told that story of the well that was dug at the time of Avraham Avinu, filled in by the Pelishtim and then redug by Yitzchak Avinu? Is this domestic story that took place in Israel, recorded in Parashat Toldot, is this story relevant to us? Do we need to know about this story? Why does the Torah spend so much time telling us the story of Yitzchak and the wells? I think that the story of Yitzchak and the wells contains a powerful message for us today in Yom HaAtzmaut. There are many explanations of the story of the wells. Let me share with you the idea given by the Shem Mishmuel, Rav Shmuel Bornstein of Sokachov. And he says, what's a well? A well, you have a piece of land, you dig in, you find water. It's a deep hole in the ground that provides water and sustenance. But once the well has been filled in, there's no trace of that well afterwards. Once you have a well and it's been filled in, you just have a piece of land, you have a field. If you don't know where the well was, you have no sign, no indication that the well was there at all. Yitzchak Avinu returns to the same place where his father had been. And he, like his father, has to start from the beginning. He goes to the same spot that his father stood, a place where he knows that he'll find water. But Yitzchak Avinu has to dig the well for himself. The Shem Mishmuel explains that we, as children of our parents have done incredible things. They've taught us Torah. We have a wonderful tradition. But if it's to be meaningful for us, if it's something that's going to make a lasting impression, then we have to dig the well ourselves. We know where the well is and we know what we need to do, but we have to dig ourselves. In many ways, our returning to Eretz Yisrael, our coming back home, our returning to the state of Israel, our zechut. I'm standing here in Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh. What an honor for me to be standing here right now. Our returning to our ancestral home is a beautiful thing. We stand in the same place where the wells that they dug once stood. But in order for Eretz Yisrael to be meaningful for us, in order for us to have a relationship with this wonderful country, we need to dig our wells ourselves. We need to mashkia, we need to invest like others did. We need to build, we need to strengthen our connection to Eretz Yisrael. We know what we need to do. We know where the well is. We're returning to where our forefathers once stood. But we too need to work in order to ensure that we too have a relationship with Eretz Yisrael. You know, yesterday evening, I had to fill out a reference for somebody. And in filling out this reference, I had to write the city in which I live. I was crying. I had the honor of writing that I live in Yerushalayim, that I live in the holy city of Yerushalayim. But in order for that to be a meaningful statement, in order for Eretz Yisrael to mean something, we have to ourselves dig the wells. We need to establish, to strengthen our connection to Eretz Yisrael, to Torah Yisrael. And through our rebuilding of the wells, we should be blessed with the Geula Shelema, with a complete redemption. May Yom HaAtzmaut be the beginning, and may we be blessed soon to see the end of that process. Bimheira b'yameinu, amen.